Team members from CWS Hong Kong Freedom Matters Right for Children visited one of the worst hit districts in Nepal recently, which was Tha Ding. We went to a particular village called Marpak. We had to go through treacherous terrains for the second half of the journey, where you'd find a lot of rocks, stones, and it was a really frustrating drive up the hill. When we reached the village, it was really sad to see that 99% of the houses were destroyed and unlivable. There were a total of around 1,100 houses, and out of which only 7 houses survived. We visited schools whereby community came together, and then they were helping build a temporary learning center for their children. It was really good to see the whole community come together. It was also very sad for us to see that people were traumatized because they lost their families, and they were not living in their houses anymore. They migrated to elsewhere in the city.
In this house, on the day of the earthquake, on April 25th, there was a young girl, Sani Maya Adhikari, who was sleeping. She was a 9-month-old baby, and her mother was out in the fields, and her grandmother was just over here in the corn. And when the earthquake started, she ran back and tried to rescue the 9-month-old baby. And as she went into the house, the grandmother, as well as the young Sani Adhikari, were covered by this rubble and died. It's this kind of thing in this whole area that is so incredibly shocking. Everywhere where you look is just totally, utterly devastated. And you know, one of the reasons obviously is that they make their houses with this mud, which is just, you know, it just crumbles, and this is meant to make the rocks stick, and even the rocks have not really been chipped out properly into proper rocks, so it's even less of a chance for them to stick. And so now, basically what we're here to do is we're here to give the second and the third phase of relief. This area has been allocated by the government to us, and the first thing that we're going to be doing is to provide 2 bundles of tin so that they can make proper temporary shelters. This over here is such one shelter behind this broken down shack here, and this is where the people are staying at the moment. But many don't have tin at all, simply because they used to make their houses with these old traditional slate stone roofs. So that's the first thing that we're going to be doing. Once we've done that and hopefully get it into the village on this incredibly rough road, it took us 5 hours to get here yesterday from the nearest headquarter, and it's really very, very remote. But once we get that in before the rains start, which is going to happen in the next 2-3 weeks, we're going to try to work together with the community to really understand their needs and how they want to rebuild their lives, rebuild their homes, and ultimately rebuild their village and community. And what we are trying to do now is to raise awareness about this dreadful situation over this whole northern belt in Nepal, and to try and get these people the package that they need for each and every house, as well as the schools, the health posts, because everything has been destroyed.
They had no electricity. It was a very infrequent connection, and it's a real struggle for the people there. When we walk past, people would invite us for lunch, greet us, and it was really nice to see that at this hard time they were still very much following the Nepalese tradition and culture, being very hospitable and offering us food. of what very little that they had. After assessing the village, we sat together with the community members and discussed what they need, what their problems were. As it is in the core of CWS's working modality, we work together with the community, and we don't give what we want to give them, but rather we give them what they need.
Jai Nepal.